2, 3, 4. When I'm lonely, I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer.
Oh, when I want you only, I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer.
And when the weather's stormy and daybreak is far, I'd throw an extra $1.50 on the bar. There's no sense in saving pennies if I don't know where you are. Oh, I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer.
And welcome back to the Beer Show. This episode, again, is about IPAs and East Coast, West Coast, Chicago.
Yeah, middle of the road.
Yeah, middle of the road, UK. I mean, we're going to touch on all of it. There's a lot to cover with IPAs. There's so many out there, 7,000 breweries, and lots of them producing IPAs and some good ones as well. So I'm Steve B. My good friend Eric T. How you doing, Eric?
Doing good, Steve. How you doing?
Excellent, and ready to get back into this thing, man. We've got first on tap is
Goose
another
Island.
great IPA, Goose Island.
All right.
Get that for you.
Mahalo.
Get you a glass.
Thank you, sir.
That is a 20-ounce imperial pint glass from the UK. Well, not from the UK, but just like the ones
UK style.
the ones they use. The only difference is in the UK when you get a pint like this, it has the stamp from the.
It does.
It has from the Queen. Yeah, You got to have the Queen's approval on this stuff.
Gotcha.
So this doesn't have the Queen's approval.
Wasn't so sure the Queen was such a
But,
aficionado.
You're right.
But that's all right. It's good to know. It's fantastic.
Look at that. So yeah, that's a 20-ounce imperial. I will set this. Hey, I finished my. Did you? Yes.
We throw that out there for you.
Fantastic.
That
Let's
is
go.
the Lagunitas.
That's the Lagunitas
Sweet.
IPA. We just finished that one. And these are so far what we've got. And this is our,
Squeeze them down there.
uh,
All right.
So this again is the Goose Island. Goose Island is such a huge IPA. So popularity is through the roof. They've won like 6 medals. It's a kind of a blend, a little bit of a blend.
Yeah, a little of the hazy, a little bit of the West Coast style.
Yep.
Because it's supposed to have some of the citrus flavor and some of the hoppiness.
Yeah, it's not hazy to look at, but it certainly has a blend of both East Coast, West Coast.
It has a floral, so it has the
Yep.
the citrusy flavor or scent anyway.
Mm-hmm. It definitely does. It has that citrus aroma, almost grapefruit, pine kind of notes to it.
And it has a little hoppiness, has a little kick to it.
Oh yeah, little kick on the finish.
I could see why this is a popular beer.
Yeah, it's definitely got a little kick on the finish. They say it's a light to moderate sweet beer with a moderate to medium bitter finish, and they're definitely getting those notes.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah,
getting
most definitely.
those.
And that's not false advertised by any means.
And this is their. We should mention this is their flagship beer. It's kind of what put them on the map. It's one of their top selling, or it is their top selling beer, and like I said, 6 medals in the Great American Brewers Festival. So hey,
I'll drink
cheers
to that.
Cheers
Cheers.
once again. Yeah.
Now again, as far as IBUs and ABV and things like that, I always see that it's a hoppy, grapefruity, refreshing IPA.
There you go. As we mentioned, grapefruit,
yeah.
kind of pine, kind of aromatic.
There we go. I'm seeing a 5.9 ABV. So 5.9. It's a fairly strong beer. Not as strong as some of the IPAs, but it's definitely stronger than your average beer.
For sure.
And on the IBU side, we're looking at 55 IBUs. So it's got a little
Okay.
zing to it. It's got some flavor to it.
Yeah, that's higher than I would have expected.
Yeah.
Just based on traditional IPAs. They range from 40 to 120. So
Right. So
yeah,
I mean, it's a little
55.
on the lower scale. It's a little accessible. On the accessible side.
More approachable. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're looking to find your way to IPAs, this is a great place to start. It's not going to be overbearing. It's not going to be overpowering. You're just going to be able to, get that sense of it. And we got the beer light going on here.
We do. I'm sorry, jumping ahead.
No, there you go.
5 maybe?
Yeah, it's looking like a 5.
Maybe lower.
Maybe a 4.
Maybe even a lower 4, yeah. Lower 4.
It's a pretty light flavored beer, light colored beer.
Yeah, I would say, but like a 4, 3 or 4, 3.5, 4, something like that.
Yeah.
Carbonation's like pretty light as well.
Yeah, I didn't get a whole lot of head on that when I poured the glass.
No,
But
I didn't either.
that's not necessarily bad either.
No, I like it. It's well balanced, smooth.
It's good tasting beer. I think it's I think they're trying to meet the road in the middle, trying to hit the hoppiness and hit the florals and try to keep the IBUs down there.
Right.
They're trying to make this your
Kind of almost a mass appeal, trying to hit the masses.
It's not quite your Budweiser, but it might be your Budweiser of IPAs.
Yeah.
It's the inroad. It's welcome to craft beer kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that. It definitely is kind of. I feel like it doesn't try to go outside of the box too much in any one way or another. It's very middle of the road. It's very like mass marketing kind of appeal. Even someone that doesn't really like the hoppy IPAs,
Right.
this could be a really good approachable entry level beer.
It's going to give you a little flavor of what the various hops and the yeast and the barley and everything else. It's going to give you a real taste of what an IPA could be without going overboard.
Overboard, exactly. Yeah.
And then once you get used to this, you'll want to explore and try to find your particular variety of overboard.
Yeah, I think it's a well balanced beer. It's a
Yeah,
really
this-
well balanced beer.
It's a nice East Coast meets West Coast.
I think so too.
Sure.
Yeah, which is
And being based out of Chicago, that makes a lot of sense.
that's making a lot of sense right there.
It tastes really good.
It is. I like that a lot. And yeah, kind of ahead of the curve, really. If they started coming out, they were at 96, 95. So kind of ahead of the curve as far as like IPAs as we know them today, and that's why I think this one has a very kind of old-fashioned, if you will, flavor about the IPAs. Kind
Right.
of very traditional, old-world UK style
Exactly. Yeah. This
type of an IPA. It's nothing special.
No, it reminds me of sitting back in London,
Right
filling
on.
back a pint.
Yeah, it's a very basic kind of. I mean, I would almost just call this a pale ale. It's not over, like I said, it's not over the top. It's not over the top, heavy hoppy finish. It's just a kind of a basic pale ale, in my
No,
opinion.
if we didn't take them out of the fridge, it could be an ESB or something like that. It could have been,
Yeah.
pull it on a draw handle.
Yep. It's not especially bitter. It's not especially hoppy or malty. I think there's a great balance between the three. It reminds me of a lot of UK beers that are, that might be on the hand pump with the low carbonation, especially. I think if this was served a little bit warmer, you could be right back in the UK having a pint, having a warm one.
Having a warm one.
That was a warm one, as to say. I don't know. It's the thing is though, when you're over there,
When you're over there, that's fine.
it's so cold anyway outside. You don't want a
yeah.
cold one. You
No.
want like a room cellar temperature. Right?
Exactly.
60 degrees is
Yeah,
good.
With the whiskey on the side.
Yeah, with a
You
shot of
know,
whiskey.
it'll warm you up a little
Some
bit.
Irish whiskey on the side is what you want. And then this tastes that much colder.
Exactly.
Makes up for it. No, it's a fine beer, of course, a great ale. And I just don't really even necessarily think of it as an IPA. It's so good.
No, this,
It's so good.
it's kind of like an American Pale Ale. Again, that goes back to my Mirror Ponds and,
Yep, the shoots. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes back, and that's my go-to kind.
Yeah.
And this certainly is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that the beauty of this beer here is I know I can find this at airports across the country. and almost around the world. You know?
Oh yeah. You just look for the
I
you
look for the goose
head. Look for the goose head on the tap handle.
Yeah,
and you-
and that's where I'm going.
I'll do one of those, please.
I know I don't have to walk any farther from
Even
the
if-
gate. You know.
Yep, even if it's a 16-ounce pint, that's fine. I got time for 2.
Yeah. You know that. I'll take the rest to go. I got a canteen with me.
You take growlers on a plane?
Shouldn't give that secret up. Huh?
Oh yeah.
Those water canteens aren't always water.
It's nice. It's super clear. Obviously filtered, this one, because compared to our hazies that we did earlier, it's very different. In fact, it's even very different to this IPA, right?
Yeah.
So this is the Lagunitas, and my goodness, you could argue that the Lagunitas is hazy.
You know, I'm starting to
Although,
wonder-
is that really
starting to wonder, maybe it was the other one.
maybe it wasn't that one. Damn. Well, check
We'll
that.
get back to that.
Yeah, check that. I am not so sure this is actually a Lagunitas.
That might be a little
Anymore.
hazy. That might be the.
That might be one of. You know what?
There we go.
That's that one. Wow.
All right. Should we open
Wow.
up another?
Yes, we will, because you know, that's a yeah.
Yeah, that's.
We can't mislead the
that's false
folks.
advertising.
And that is right. So let's just do this. Why don't we pour a little bit of this one out here?
Trust us, it won't go to waste. We will put this.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
are not-
We
we are-
do not waste beer.
Dude, yeah, no. Look at this.
Oh, that's not beer.
That is, and I apologize. That's what that is.
That's what that is.
That's the Lagunitas IPA. Now let's see what we
I'll
got.
take my other beer back.
Look at that. Yeah, right. You can have that one back.
Don't be going nowhere with that one.
That's your hazy little
That's
thing
my,
or something.
That's my backup.
That-
I'm
that's
almost
this
done
one.
here.
But you'll notice, I mean, your color is a little bit lighter. A little lighter, less,
Yeah.
carbonation about the same, but, you remember the IPUs on the Lagunitas?
I think they were around 55.
Yeah, 55. This one's 55. So, yeah, 55 it's about
Yeah.
right. It's kind of bitter,
And-
but it's not hoppy.
Yeah,
It's
they're
not bitter.
they're very low on the IPUs as far as accessibility. You know, people want to start, you know, especially if you're drinking mass-produced beers to start with. This is the range that you're going to be going into next, and feel very comfortable about it. You're going to get a full-bodied beer,
Yeah.
and then from there on, you decide which kind of hops and yeast that you like, and how much of it you like. You know, everybody's got a different palate, and that's why they make hundreds, if not thousands, of different beers.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think
And we're here
I
to
think
taste every one of them for you.
Yeah, let's move on, shall we?
All right, absolutely.
What do we got next, Eric? What do we?
Next, I think, where are we at? The Space Dust? Are we looking at Eliason next?
Goodness, wow, we're going big. Okay.
We are going big.
Sure, we can
Okay,
do.
so Eliason, it's a brewery out of Seattle, Seattle, Washington. They started their first brewery at Capitol Hill, and they've opened up a couple more since then. One of their founding beers, anyhow, my favorite is
Their flagship? Is it their flagship
their
kind of beer?
flagship, in my mind, anyhow, has to be the Space Dust.
This is it. Here it is.
This is the one. And it's an IPA, Space Dust. It's very hoppy, very flavorful, and it's a little high in the ABVs, IBUs, a little heavy and everything.
It's a little heavy on the price too, I have to say. It's a
Well,
little
yeah,
spendy on the
it
price.
can be spendy.
This is expensive
I
stuff.
got lucky. I got a 12-pack down at one of the places here.
Really?
For
How much? 20?
yeah, a little higher than that.
25.
Yeah, probably somewhere in
That's
that
about
neighborhood.
right. I was going to say, this beer here is one of the most expensive IPAs I've ever seen. I can just tell you that when I looked at it, it was about $16 a six-pack.
Yeah, over by my house, they're about
$16.99.
$18.99 a six-pack.
18
$18.99.
You don't want to go to where Eric goes because
No.
$18.99 is a little much, in my opinion, for a six-pack. But anyway,
I
I
lucked
can't wait
out.
to try it.
I went to work in Honolulu a couple weeks ago, and I happened to stumble upon one of the places that had $5 any brew for $5.
Dangerous.
Yeah, I spent my per diem there. But anyhow, obviously I tasted a bunch of beers, and I spent most of my night on Elias Space Dust. It was that good, I thought. As a matter of fact, after having a couple of beers and going back out for dinner, because I wasn't sure how good this menu was here, went out for dinner. I was walking back to my hotel room, and I decided, you know what? I got time for one more Space Dust. So I went back for another 3, and blew my Uber money, and I ended up walking back to the hotel. But that's another story. Actually, my phone ran out of batteries. But
Yeah, okay.
anyhow.
So you stumbled back to the hotel. You saved the Uber trip, and you bought some more.
And I had a couple more Space Dusts.
Eliason.
Okay. So again, out of Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, I mean, look at this label. You got a hop guy. This is like a hop head blowing, I guess, space dust out of his mouth.
Right.
I mean, it's cool, but I'm just saying, it's,
And according to their website, it's the hops. For hops, it drips with tropical sunshiny mosaic and twinkles with touches of El Dorado and Centennial. What do you think of that, Steve?
Oh, this is my first time having this beer. I got to be honest.
Right, that's right.
I've never had it before. This is a great beer. It's the aftertaste is great. But it's sort of like almost dries your mouth out.
It does.
It's like sucks the.
It makes you thirsty, makes you want to suck another one down.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. That's probably their plan.
Yeah.
But no, it's working. It's working for sure. It's so dry on the finish. I mean, I would not call this refreshing.
No, this is.
Although it's flavorful, it's just not a.
It's got a ton of flavor.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this isn't your typical beach beer. This isn't your working the yard beer. This is, I'm having a nice meal kind of thing. I'm going to have a steak. I want a beer with it.
Yeah, that is big. It's big and bold. It does, however, it has a nice balance. I do think it's well balanced. I don't think that it's too malty or too hoppy. There is a nice balance between the two. It's definitely packed full of flavor.
Yeah.
Like IBUs on this is 100 or
I
would think it's up there.
It's 73.
73. Okay. All right.
It's getting up there. It's not up there in the double Aryan bastard kind of territory.
Well, it's not the double. Yeah, the double IPAs is a whole nother thing. And
That's
we'll do another show on the double IPAs. That's like really crazy hoppy.
But as far as this compared to any of these, this is in a whole separate league than anything that we have here in front of us. As we mentioned,
As far as flavor?
Yeah, the hazies, they were very accessible, very, very, somewhat fruity, but easy to drink. These two over here, still easy to drink, not as fruity, a little bit more leaning towards hops. This one here,
True.
yeah, it's once you've graduated from these guys and you're looking for a little stronger beer, a little bit more flavor, this is a good place to go.
You just have to probably get a second job.
Well, yeah.
To afford this beer, you probably need another income.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I do like it. I just think
And,
it's.
and again, that might be just Hawaii prices too.
I don't understand why it's so expensive, because it's not that different from some other great beers out there, which I won't mention. But it's a good one.
That could be due to distribution. Some of these others that we know have hooked up with some of the major brands
Heineken
in distribution,
and,
right?
and
These guys here are,
Maybe not.
in my mind, as far as I know, they haven't hooked up with any of the major players as far as
not
distribution.
sold out.
Right, they haven't sold out, so you got to pay out.
But I do agree with you on the sellout part. I mean, it's not selling out necessarily. It's just that you want to get your product out to the rest of the country or
Sure.
the world, and I get that. But no, this is a great beer. It really is a fantastic beer. I'm not knocking it at all. It's a little spendy for my taste, but I do love the flavor. It's big.
Unless you're in Seattle. In Seattle, this is probably right up there with Mac and Jack's or something like that. And
You probably get this down at your local pub down there. And
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
you know,
and
for
it's-
$3.50
Yeah, we
your
got
pint on
dollar
the happy
night.
hour. Yeah, I had a happy hour. Maybe, yeah. Hopefully.
I don't know. Well, I'm going to be in Seattle sometime soon, so.
But
check that out.
I know you've got. So I've got just a little bit of beer left here.
Well, I do have that surprise. Yeah,
And
the fizz.
I know you do have a little surprise for us. So
All right.
put it down on the table,
So-
and I'll let you set it up for us.
I was down at the beach the other day, and a friend of mine turned me on to Elias and Superfuzz.
So
And
same brewery.
Same brewery, and we ended up sharing a 5-pack of it, as it were, and I ended up with the last one back in my cooler, and he had told me that if you go to Elias's website, they recommend mixing the Super Fuzz with the Space Dust and coming up with, I forget if he said it was Space Fuzz or Super Dust, but
Space Fuzz.
Yeah.
Super Dust is good
Super
too.
Dust, the Space Fuzz. But in either case, here's a new experiment. We haven't tried this before.
So
and
here's-
Steve has never seen either of these beers before.
I've never
so-
had these beers, so I've seen this one on the shelf. But I mean, so what you're talking about making a beer cocktail?
A beer cocktail,
as
you
it
know,
were.
mixing and matching,
Yeah,
50% each.
All right.
And
50-50,
this
yeah.
one here is labeled a blood orange ale, a blood orange pale ale.
Blood orange pale ale. I'll give you that.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and crack that real quick.
Let's divvy up. Well,
Oh,
you might
oh,
be.
yeah.
You might have to drink down a little bit there on your one there. I mean, if it's a 50-50, right?
Yeah,
We're going for
we'll
a
see where we go
50-50.
with that.
Ooh, let's pop that on the beer light. Let's check that out. So this is again. Oh, it's already on. Ooh.
There we go.
So just hold it.
Yeah,
Just
so
hold
that
it.
is a lot oranger. If you want to slide that over, we do half and
Yeah,
half.
yeah, yeah. There you go. Half. Yeah, and hazy too, right?
Yeah,
Little
it sure looks that
hazy.
way. So it's
Looking good.
yeah, we'll go with that. And I'm gonna go ahead, Steve. Do you mind if I top you off here?
Oh yeah,
And,
no, please. Yeah, so this is the beer cocktail that you mentioned, and so about 50-50 on these. So you've got 50-50 on the Space Dust, and then what is it? The Space Punk?
This is
Fuzz
the
box. No,
Super Fuzz.
that's.
I know where you're going with the Fuzz box.
Fuzz.
Shout out
Fuzz.
to the guys in Lahaina.
Shout out to the guys in line at Fuzz Box. Super Fuzz.
Super Fuzz.
Super Fuzz Box. Hey, maybe that
Super
could
Fuzz.
be.
Love the glasses,
Could
man.
be another thing.
That's
I love
it's
the
like
logo.
A Super Fuzz.
I do love the logo. It's pretty
So,
good.
I mean, if we go over to the Super Fuzz, what do you think of that
Oh,
beer?
well, did you
I
save yourself
I saved myself a little sip.
Okay, good. All right. Me too. Different.
Yeah, it's not quite as strong as the, not quite as
no.
hoppy.
It's just beer.
Yeah, I mean, in comparison, but it does have a little bit of floral hints in the tail end of that.
Got an interesting finish, right?
I feel a little orange in there.
Yeah, the finish is unique. I mean, I almost don't taste any hops in this one.
No, I mean in comparison for sure.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't have any hop.
Well, you know, I didn't do
We
my
didn't
research on this.
do our
This-
homework on these.
This was a.
These are brand new beers for us.
This was
guys,
a
so
surprise.
yeah.
You know,
surprise edition.
surprise. Look what's in the fridge.
Yeah. See what we got. What are we doing today, guys? It's a beer show. I don't know. What do you got? Coors. We got gas station beer. How about that? Let's do a whole show on gas station beer. No,
And Musubis.
that's a different show.
I,
That ain't this show.
I'm like next in line for new glasses, so I can't read any of that stuff.
This is, there's still a bit left.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know I like it by itself. I'm hoping that the cocktail, the beer cocktail you just made me is better because this is not.
Yeah, I mean, when we were kicking it on the beach, it was beautiful.
Yeah, now is this
You know?
in the same price point? $20 a six pack?
You know, it was about $15, but granted, I mean, I was in Wailea. It was on the beach. It was, you know, I think Budweiser was like $19. You know?
For a case.
No, it wasn't far out of reach of any of the rest of them. But of course, you know, down when
down
you're
that
in
side,
resorts in Maui,
Yeah, that side.
everything's gonna be there.
Right, understood. But, okay, well, in any case, I mean, I appreciate you bringing this one by. It's definitely unique and different. I don't know that I can compare this to anything else. It's not an IPA, for sure.
If anything, it reminds me of the hazies.
Oh, yeah? It's a little hazy, for sure.
Yeah, maybe not.
just doesn't
maybe not
have-
in color, but I mean,
There's no
I bet
finish,
you. I
man.
bet you if you go back and just switch around one of the warm ones there, it probably wouldn't be far from it.
You know what? I'll take you up on that. Yeah, it's much better. This is much better.
It is.
This
Okay.
has, I don't know, this is to me is very blasé. It's very, it lands flat on the palate. The finish is a bit weird.
No?
I'm not a big fan of this one. Now, maybe with the mix between the two, because I think that this beer would cut this,
would complement that.
complement and cut it just right. But as a standalone by itself beer, I'm not that happy with it. It's not that good.
Yeah. I was enjoying it that day, but I mean, granted, that was chasing tequilas too. So
Yeah,
You know.
well, that can change things.
yeah,
But anyway, I'm very much looking forward to this mix,
I
this
am too.
blend.
let's give it
So,
a shot.
yeah, cheers, Eric.
Cheers.
Thanks, man. Thanks for bringing all these great beers today. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it certainly did cut down some of the hoppiness.
Ah, see now that's definitely drinkable. That's more approachable.
Yeah.
I think it cut the hops. The two sort of complement each other. So I think this one's a little too hoppy for my taste.
Mm-hmm.
The other one had almost no finish.
But it had, I thought, too much fruitiness.
Yep. Yep.
But then when you put them together,
Yeah.
it cuts down the fruitiness, cuts down the hoppiness, but it balances it out. It gives gives a little bit more flavor to the hoppy beer and a little hoppiness to the fruity beer.
It did. So, and this is the blend. This is the blend of the two. I don't know if you can see this, but we got the two blended here. And then, yeah, not bad. I mean, it's
It's out.
I like it.
It's drinkable,
it's
obviously.
drinkable. Yeah, it's approachable, drinkable.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
don't,
hoppy.
I don't think we're going to leave a single can in the cooler waiting for the party to pass off to, the strays that come by.
So we hope you enjoy them. Please try them. Please check us out next time. I'm Steve B.
Eric T.
Thanks for watching the Beer Show.
Aloha.
Cheers.
Cheers.
2, 3, 4. When I'm lonely, I drink a fancy beer. Fancy beer. Oh, when I want you only, I drink a fancy beer. Fancy beer. And when the weather's stormy and daybreak is far, I'd throw an extra $1.50 on the